Well, hello. I'm back. This is the final video that I'm going to make. I've got pretty much everything in this one. I've got the finishing. I oiled them at the end, and other things. I wanted to go over some points, but you'll see. But these are four. It took me so long to get the video out that I've made 15, and I've given away most of them. Well, I've got 3 for me that I like, and then this one in the middle for my wife Judy. But they're all 3 different sizes and different tones, and that was what I wanted to one of my goals, to have to see what they all sound like, and they sound really good, and they sound really good. And today I'm going to try to play something with the first one I made, just so you see that I succeeded at it. So I'll put well, one of them's a F, one's a G sharp, one's a A, and a C, and they all sound great, and I like them. But I'm going to play. The first one I made is an A, and one's made out of, by the way, one's made out of black walnut, and one's made out of redwood. And then two of the ones I have here are made out of cedar. See, I learned to make them out of different woods, and I wanted to see what they sounded like. I really like the black walnut. This one sounds really good too, and it's my first one. It's my first try. So I'm saying that to show you that if you have the tools and the skill, you could probably make one of these. And I don't know why you would make it, but I'm 74 years old. I just felt like it. I just felt like making it. I wanted to learn how to play music. I've never played music. I've never had a music lesson, and I've never, I can't read music, and they have a different way of reading these. So I've got some music here set up on my, over here, and I'm going to try to play a song someone wrote and put it in a book, and all they have is pictures of what holes to open up. So that's how I do it. And you could too. I'm just going to play a little bit of it though. That's just a little bit, and I play real slow because I can't read it fast enough, and it probably should be with different tempos, the way a real flute player would play it. But I do the best I can, and I'm having fun with it, and I'll get tempo, and I got that little thing going where you just lift up the one finger. I got that thing going, and that was fun to learn that and make my finger do it while I'm trying to play the music. It's hard for me just to read the music and go in order, and I didn't. There, I made up some new ones while I was doing that, but this is where I'm at right now. This is the last one I'm going to do, episode 5, and it's all of them that I've done, and I had some more videos, but I said that's enough. That's enough. So someday I'll make another one on how I'm making them now. I've started making them different than this. This is the first one, And I started making them a little different than this. Not much, not much. It's still the same in here, a little bit of different around here, but you'll see. You see how different they are. If I ever make another video on the flutes, maybe I'll need some help. I don't know. And God bless you, and watch the video, like it, and share it, and share it too. Somebody might like it, and subscribe to my channel. All right, God bless you, and keep watching. But right now, I'm trying to get this where the holes are. I'm trying to get it about 3/16 of an inch, and what I did was I planed it down and then sanded it down, and it's pretty close to 3/16 of an inch at the sound holes, and that's what I'm trying to do. Now I'm trying to, I drilled a small hole, and now I'm just going around trying to get it to just a little bigger holes, and then I'm going to try to tune it. I still am confused on that. But I think I'll someday I'll figure it out. And in the meantime, I made a little bird, and it goes on top here. This is where he goes. He covers up just right about there is where he's going to go, and that's one of the things that's going to show what my bird is. And then I have some buckskin string. And that's what ties it on. You tie it on with some buckskin string. It has a little bit of elastic quality to it, but it's strong enough. All I'm doing is tying this on, and then I just got to make it the right sound. Each one has to be in the right key. Each hole has to be tuned, and that means making it a little bit bigger or making it. You can't make it smaller, but so you just got to make it a little bit bigger, each one, in relationship to the flute. The flute, if you cover all these up, the flute has one sound, and it's supposed to be in relationship to that. I don't understand it all the way yet, but we'll get it. We'll get it. I'm just gonna do it. I just feel like making a flute, so. That's what I'm going to do. Okay, there's a couple of things that are very important. The soundtrack is extremely important. If you look online, the depth of this is anywhere from 1 millimeter to 2 millimeters. And I got mine at 2 millimeters. And the front of this cutting edge has to be about halfway. Some of them say just a little lower than halfway. Right now mine is, I'm 2 millimeters deep, and the cutting edge is at 1 millimeter. That's not very easy to get to. And so, but I did it. Now the other thing I want to show you is this. I made a little bird. I don't know if I showed you that. And this block, this is just a block with a little bird on top. You can have nothing on top. You can have just a block, and it'll work. Just got to tie it on. But it has to fit on top here with no airflow at all coming around anywhere. There can't be everything on YouTube, they say no air at all. So how would you do that? Well, I made sure that it was completely flat. And you see, I took a piece of 220 sandpaper. But look at here's the trick. I took a big plane, and then I made sure that the blade is way down. And then I put this piece of paper right on it, because this is perfectly flat. Then I would take this, and then I would bring it across and make it perfectly flat, and it works. If I hold this steady and perfectly flat. One thing I found over the years, if you just rub back and forth, it'll build up a pile of, there's a little pile of sawdust. and then it'll start getting round. So what you have to do is just bring it back, clean that off, or move it over into a clean spot. Keep it clean, and it won't get round on you. The same thing I did all of this area. Okay, this all has to be perfectly flat to match up. So I did the same thing, and I just run it across, clean that sand, clean that off, okay, and then rub it across again. Don't get too in a hurry, but make sure, you can make sure, now that, and that would be that's how you keep it really, really flat. That's another way, I think. If I get too deep with this sound hole, see, I'm at the maximum, I guess, 2 millimeter, but if I want to get it closer to 1 millimeter, and that would be if it sounded too airy, they say, that's how I would flatten this out just a little bit with the sandpaper and make this little gap here a little bit less. Make it a little less. And get it down to just under 2 millimeters, I think would be the only thing I would do. I would rather have airy than have something else causing me any grief. Now, I'm still testing this, testing it. I've gotten my air holes down to 3/16, and by putting this block on, I hold it by hand right now. Put it right to the edge, and here, I'll tell you what it sounds like. And that's about as far as I am right now. I'm going to have to find out what note is coming out of here, to A or a B, and then tune the rest of these holes after that. This gets tuned first by shortening it, and then you tune the rest. So, but I sanded this all up this morning, and boy, I was having trouble last night getting it to sound right. Boy, it sounds really nice now, and it's pretty much going through. Just a little bit of fine tuning. And that's all I got going now. So let's see if I can get the sound holes tuned in. I still don't understand that completely, but I'll give it a try. But anyway, this is what the flute kind of looks like right now. All right, finally I'm not quite done. Got a little fiddling to do with it, and then I'll oil it with tongue oil, and then I'm going to mix the tongue oil with some orange thinner, and that makes it pretty good, I've read. So, but this is it, and I finally made some music out of it. Not music, but I made some noise out of it, and let's see if I can make some noise here. I'll cover them all up, so you see if I can do that. I got to teach myself how to do this. I made it work, and it takes quite a bit to tune it. It took me all day yesterday, and I didn't even figure it out. The tuner I had wasn't working too good, so I went online, and they had one that works with my iMac computer thingy there, and it showed me the actual numbers that I have to try to get. So this turned out to be, for instance, if you know anything about music, maybe you understand me. If you don't know anything about music, then you'll be just like me. But this is an A flute, so I had to cut the end off until when I blew through it, it had 440, I guess it's megahertz, something like that, megahertz or something, hertz. 440, that's an A. And then the next note, it went by the different notes. This next hole is a C, then a D, then an E, then a G, and then back to the A again on top. And they all are assigned different numbers. For instance, C is 523, then D is 587, and so forth. And that's what makes a different note, I found out. I'm learning something every day. And so just going on this journey with this music, with this thing, I'm learning a little bit more. And so it was kind of fun. And what you do then, after you cut it off and make it a A, 440, then you got to increase the size of these holes. You start off small, and then you go file it. I use this Dremel in back of me. Be very careful. The Dremel works fast, but it sure does make a mistake really fast too. So, but then you have to file it. You put the file and make it. Boy, you take the smallest amount, and it changes the number. When I blew this at the computer, boy, just for a little bit of a filing, it changed it 10, they call it cents, 10 cents. I don't know, that's what it did. And then some of them I had to get up 50 cents. I had to move it to get that marker to go straight up. And I ended up tuning every single one of these like that. The spacing has to be perfect too. This is a Native American flute spacing. This is a traditional spacing, and I got it off of a place called Blue Bear Flutes. He has Huey-Tubey things, and I was listening to a lot of his stuff, and I got it from him, and different spacing. So I went with the spacings, then I drilled each hole, and they're really close to a 1/4 inch. These are real close to a 1/4. These went just over a 1/4. Just so if you're making them, you would know that. Maybe I'll put the spacing on the end of this video, so if you feel like making it, you could do it. But it turned out, I'm pretty proud for the first one. You know, I'm a carpenter and I like to make things exact, so it was a good challenge. And now I'm just going to take my plane, and there's a couple of fine tuning. It didn't come out perfect around the edge. I can't do anything with the hole on the inside, but what I'm going to do is plane this down with my plane to make it perfectly round. Then I'm going to sand it. Then I'm going to oil it up, and that's what I want to do. And to finish it, you can finish it, and finish it whatever way you want. And you saw the bird, little chickadee that I made on the end, and you can make anything on the end. It's just the block, and you can have just a block if you want. But then I wanted to carve that. They have all kinds of things. They have buffalo, turtles. They got all kinds of things that they put on, and that's what I wanted to say. And another thing is well, this one part here on top, that 3/16 seems to be the magic number with all of them, how thick at the hole, at where you put the holes. So what I did there was I planed that flat on the top to 3/16, and I measured down in there with a gauge to tell me where 3/16 was, and that's how I got that. I think the next flute I make, I think right in here, I need to be closer to 3/16. Right now I'm closer to a 1/4 inch thick. So I'm going to try to get that different and see what happens. I've got some wood out there, and I'm going to try some more. But I'm going to sand this a little bit round, and I've already got this pretty good, and that's all. That's all I'm going to do. And God bless you. And I think I'll just sit here, and I already marked the end, and I know where I want to take some off, so that's what I'm going to do right now. All right, been out in the garage and I sanded this up all the way down to, I had some 320 grit sandpaper, and ought to be all right. It ought to be pretty smooth when I get done. I also did one guy burnt the wood. He said it caramelizes it and makes it hard. I wanted to burn a little bit around the edge, around just on the bottom, just to see what it might look like. And I wanted to make the end of it black, so I did. That's what I did there. The rest of it's going to be natural. It's made out of cedar, so I think it'll look really nice out in the garage. And then I blew and vacuumed all the dust off. Make sure you get all the dust off, and I did that. Now I'm going to mix some. I have some tung oil. And some Nature's Grade. It says Nature's Orange, Food Grade D Limonene, something like that. All right, can't say the word, but I'm going to mix it in here. I'm going to fill it up to this line with the oil. Then I'll fill it up to the top, over to this line with the orange stuff. It's supposed to be a thinner, is what it does. It's supposed to help. I want the first coat to absorb deepest into the wood, and then I think the second coat I might just coat that with just pure tung oil over the top. But you're supposed to have several coats and wipe it off, and then you let it dry. It's a real slow drying process. It only takes 12 hours between coats, so not like Danish oil where you can take it right off and you just keep going. You could be done in a day. Well, this is going to take a week. But it's a real long-lasting type finish, according to the people on the YouTube thing. So, got this all oiled up. I'm just going to let it. I put it in another Smucker's jar, so I'm just going to let it drip down into that jar. If there's anything dripping. There's not much dripping right now, but that top looked pretty good. I like the way that top turned out. I don't know how to show that to you, but it did. It did. It turned out real nice. Oops. Darkened like that. But it's a cedar. There's a couple things I want to do better on my next one. Is the seams. I could still see some seams. I must have got the. You have to be real careful. I know I was trying to be careful, but that's the way it goes. This turned out really nice. The grain on it looks really nice, but there's a couple of places where the edge of the wood must have been just a little bit dinged, right here and here, where I want to do a little bit better. It would be perfect then if I can make it perfect. You wouldn't even be able to tell the seam, and even if it had a seam in it, it's all right. But I'm going to let it set. Set there for an hour, okay? And then it's set there for an hour. Then you take it off. Then you rub it off. And I got a bunch of these. I threw away a bunch of socks. That'll work out real good, I think. Yeah. That's good. And I'm going to keep on going. I'll show you what it. Hopefully it plays after I'm done with all this. And don't forget, anything that you have with using this kind of oil, this or linseed oil or other oils like that, they spontaneous combustion. Anything that has even the least amount of oil on it. What I usually do is just throw it out by my back door and then clean it up another day. After it gets rained on a couple times, and I figured it's pretty good. That's how I do it. Any kind of rags or any kind of paper towels, don't put them in your garbage can, okay? Because it's supposed to be spontaneous combust. So just be careful of that. Read all the labels. Yeah, that's all I got to say on that. Read all the labels, and it'll warn you on that. All right. Well, I hope this tape comes out good. So that's it.